All right, welcome to the Grown Up Show, everyone. Where being a grown up is always up for debate. My name is Danny Barros, alongside my longtime buddy Anthony Hall.
What's up?
Episode 4. We have made it.
We've made it.
That's it, man.
It took us 3 full episodes, and you messing up saying episode 4 about 5 or 6 times, but we got through the intro.
We're here. Here we are. Nobody else has to know that. Come on, man.
And now the world knows, dude. I snitched. I snitched.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's been another hell of a week. Luckily, we're headed into a holiday here where we can get a little bit of R&R, but, you know, it's going to be shelter-in-place R&R for most of us, I'm sure. So it's going to be quite different than the normal American birthday that we're used to getting. So, yeah, what about you guys? You guys do anything special for the holiday? Trying to, at least?
We're just going to kind of kick it. So we're kind of spoiled, and our company shut down this week. So
nice.
Today was day 1. So we have the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd off, then the weekend. And then I took the Monday off, the 6th, because that's my birthday. And this guy don't work on his birthday. That's my one rule.
Nor should you.
That's my one rule in life. I don't care. Yeah. It would take me a little while to figure out how old I'm actually turning. But I know this. I don't work on my birthday.
Well, I mean, and for good reason, too. It's like you avoid, like, the awkward, like, oh, we got you a cake at work kind of thing. And it's just like, well, you know, thanks, guys, you know?
Yeah. So we're just going to chill. It's really nice because we live up on pretty high hill in Portland, and we actually get an overview of Beaverton, which is a big city right next to Portland. And last year from our deck, you can see all of Beaverton and just all the freaking fireworks going crazy. We went to a friend's house for like a barbecue beforehand, then came home and did that. But this year, just because of social distancing and you know, I think I've said this before, but I have a 5-month-old and I live with a 65-year-old. So we take it pretty serious with the whole shelter in place stuff. So we're just gonna barbecue and just watch the show from the porch. So
yeah, it seems like you guys have a pretty decent vantage point of all the festivities and you know, shenanigans going on throughout town. Do they, for the most part, allow fireworks up there, or is it like kind of how it's been down here, where it's like some cities will and some cities ban it?
Yeah, it's exactly like it is down in the Bay Area, where I don't even know. I think in Portland, I don't even think we can have the ground fireworks. I think it's the surrounding cities. I don't know, but I mean, all the aerial stuff's all illegal, but it's still, dude. It's just like you can't control it, man. It's everywhere. No. Last year, I was actually surprised at how many like aerial fireworks there were, knowing that they're illegal. Like there's no way to control it. It's just everywhere. So, but it's great. I've always kind of been like whatever about it. Like I understand the hazards and everything, but it puts on quite a show. The kids love it. So
yeah, I mean, get some sparklers, man. Those things are always a hit with the kids.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
it's about as far as we'll go.
Yeah.
I mean, being in Pacifica, it's like we're one of the last remaining towns that still allows it, and it brings a lot of riffraff in from some of the neighboring towns that don't allow it. A lot of people will come and buy and just hang out here and light off fireworks. And it's just, you know, it's a bummer, you know, especially fire season and whatnot. But I know it's a huge money maker for a lot of the special interest groups out there and youth sports and whatnot. So, you know, I'd hate to see it go away, you know, because they need the funding. But at the same time, it's just like, I really wish that it would just be more controlled shows, you know, at more of like a, you know, a public level, like let's say cities putting on certain displays or whatever. But when you just put it in the hands of so many people, there's so many things that can go wrong, you know?
Yeah. And that's why it's the aerial ones are illegal in so many places, because people are stupid, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's just the way that our world turns, and a small group of idiots can ruin it for everyone else. But, I mean, it is what it is. So,
yeah, I don't think. Our 4th of July plans were already going to be a little bit different than what they typically would be on any other year. Because I mean, for me, growing up, 4th of July was always spent up in Clear Lake in Northern California, ever since I was a baby. And just this past summer, my parents sort of closed the book on that. story of our life and sold our lake house, and they're selling our childhood home too, and they're planning to move up Southern Oregon. And so we already were anticipating a different 4th of July after last summer, but we hadn't really got around to making plans, and then COVID-19 hit, and then it's like, well, we didn't really make plans anyway because we can't really make plans. And so we're pretty much doing the same thing we've been doing. We'll probably try to hit the beach and, stay outside and maybe the skate park or something like that. But, definitely it's going to feel really different, not like jumping into a pool or something like that, or being around a lot of people or a lot of family or friends, or the normal 4th of July parties and things of that nature. But we'll make the best of it. Like you said, same thing. We'll probably barbecue, probably do some good old-fashioned hot dogs and sausages, just keep it American,
That's what we're doing. We got burgers and hot dogs ready to go.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it's like it's not the day to do steaks or like tri-tip. It's like you got to do hot dogs and hamburgers, and,
Yeah.
And you got to watch the hot dog eating contest too.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're still going to have that.
Oh, yeah. That's a must. I wonder how they do it, if they're going to do it virtual or what.
Or they'll just spread them out.
Hey,
it could be virtual. Could be over Zoom or something like that.
Yeah. What about the boat? You guys keeping the boat? Selling the boat?
No, my parents sold the boat. So we'll see what happens. Like wherever they land, they might. I know they're trying to get a house with a pool, so that might just become like a place, in and of itself. Or if we do end up, going to a nearby spot,
we'll
figure it out.
I'll say that pools are amazing, man. Like when we lived in Pacifica, and my mother-in-law lived up in Cameron Park, she had a pool, and it was amazing, dude. Especially during the summer, because in Cameron Park it would get over 100 degrees, and
easily.
Someone like me, like I do terrible in the heat. Like, oh man, having that pool is just nice, dude. So nice. It does take some maintenance, but I think it's definitely if you have the weather for it, it's worth the extra money.
Oh yeah. Well, and just think like you don't have to go anywhere, or you don't have to pack up and leave. It's like, oh, just leave it there. We'll get it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of nice, but
yeah,
dude, let's get into it, man. Let's start with the beer.
Yes. Am I going or are you going?
I'll go first this time.
Your turn. Go for it.
Yeah. So, I am super duper stoked for this beer review, and that's kind of because my beer is called Super Duper Stoked.
Oh my god, dude!
From Hen House, the one and only Hen House, the dear child of Santa Rosa, California, and they are huge on their freshness. They love their freshness. They're always, asking you to check the date on the can just to make sure that you're drinking fresh beer. And so this beer was canned on the 17th, so that's about 14 days ago. So I'm definitely drinking fresh beer.
Nice.
Thanks to the fellas at Hen House. This is a double IPA. It's packed with. You hear a lot of people in the beer community throw around the word dank when they're talking about beer, and as you can tell by the green hop cones on this can, that it is loaded with dank flavor. And the double IPA tends to do that. It's a West Coast double IPA, just packed with Citra, Amarillo, Simcoe, Centennial, and Mosaic hops. And it just hits you right in the mouth. You can chew on a little bit. It tastes great.
Nice. Very nice. So I am sipping on Electric Magic from Ex Nova Brewing Company up here in Oregon.
Ooh, that can is very cute though.
I know it's very nice. It's very colorful. This is my I mean, I know I'm a day out of it, but this is my support to gay pride right here with all the beautiful colors.
Hey, you can support, any time of the year, really.
Yeah. It's a West Coast IPA, so not my favorite type, but I'm curious about it, and it's just 7%, so nothing too crazy. Not as crazy as the one I had last week, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know much about it. Like I don't know. This one doesn't have any fancy little story or anything like my other ones have. So, but I think
It
it's
means it
time.
needs a story. It needs a story.
I'll give
And
it
I
a
think,
story.
and I think that you can drink it while telling us the story. So I think there's so many things just burning
Yeah.
your eardrums that you need to talk about.
Oh man. Yes. Here we go. Ready? I hope I don't mess up my microphone again. It's a good sound, dude. It really
It
is.
Well, it's funny
Yes.
because it's like my dad is a whiskey guy or bourbon guy,
Mm-hmm.
same thing, and he says the same thing when he like first opens a brand new whiskey bottle and like makes that first pour. You know how it makes that sound like go 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 go.
Oh yeah.
But it only makes that sound like when it's like a full bottle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't
Yeah.
make that sound like when you're like halfway done with it. It doesn't make that sound anymore. So it's like us, like we love the sound of a fresh beer being cracked. But like
yeah.
my dad's not that into beer, but he loves the sound of that first whiskey bottle, you know?
Yeah. That's funny. I will say this isn't too bad. It does have a little bit of a bite at the end of it, but it's good.
It's good, man.
But yes, you said there's some stuff burning on my mind, which there is. You know, when we started this podcast, we had a lot of meetings ahead of time of what we wanted it to be about. You know, we definitely wanted to involve sports and a lot of other things. And then as we got to talking, we realized that, you know, because we have a lot in common, we have a lot of things that we don't really have in common either about things that we enjoy. You are really into the extreme sports, which I'm aware of, and you know I was more so when I was younger, but I've kind of grown out of it. But that's you know your topic that you really enjoy to cover, and for me it's gaming. And this last 2 weeks in the gaming community has been probably the most dramatic, drama-filled, crazy 2 weeks since I've been a part of it. In what I like to call the social media era.
Yeah.
So it started actually just, you know, almost about 2 weeks ago. There was kind of a little bit of not a little bit, actually a pretty huge gaming. I mean, this might not be the right term, but gaming Me Too uprising, which I want to start off by first saying, good job. Like women in general, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what industry.
Yeah, what industry? If you're being treated like a toy or a trophy or something like that, you know, not a human being, you have the right to stand up and share that. And the gaming community has gotten hit hard with this over the last 2 weeks. One lady let out a story about a guy. I don't even know his real name. I don't care to know his real name, but on the internet, he's part of the Destiny community. Destiny is it's a MMO. It's a first-person shooter MMO game. It's pretty popular. It has a nice little following. It's a game that me and my brother-in-law played since day one. You know, it's just a lot of fun. Great game. For the most part, great community. This guy he goes by the name Say No to Rage. And basically a couple of ladies, one lady dropped a story about him being inappropriate to her, just saying some weird shit. Another lady came out with a story about, you know, they were at some after party or something for some event. I don't know, but he was sitting next to her and like had his hand on her leg for like a extended period of time. It was really uncomfortable for her. Now this is a married guy with a family, you know, so the guy's gotten some pushback in the past for being kind of weird. So, but it really snowballed from there to the point now where I believe we have had over 100 stories like this in the gaming community of professional players being inappropriate. You know, as minor as, well, not minor. That's not the right thing to say in this situation, but as from the spectrum of, you know, just verbal abuse to pretty much rape. Like the stories have come across
Right,
the
there's
the
a
board.
variance.
So so it's kind of been kind of interesting, you know. a lot of the big, so esports is a part of the gaming side that I don't follow too much. I'm not really huge into the competitive side. I know the major players and I know some things, but I'm not too big into that. But I will say that especially over the last few years, esports has become huge. It's become a major thing, major industry. It's gotten a lot of TV attention. It's massively grown, and a lot of the teams have removed these people permanently from their teams. Like Twitch has banned dozens of accounts. It's been really good to see these major players taking the right steps. YouTube has demonetized a bunch of accounts because Twitch is kind of its own unique beast. It's very different from the rest of the platforms. They're kind of all over the place with their bans. So we're going to get into that a little bit more of that in a minute here. But I feel like they do really try to put their foot down. Not always in the right way, but when it comes to like sexual harassment or things like that, they'll drop the hammer pretty quick. Where
I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, that's
where,
kind of the society we live in today, where it's like if you don't, there's a problem with the fact that you didn't do anything.
Yeah. But YouTube, Twitter, things like that, they handle them a little bit differently. Not that they're not doing the same thing. Like demonetizing is a great step. That means that you're not having any ads run on your videos. That's your main revenue when you're a YouTube creator. Twitter, they're getting things removed and stuff. Like accounts aren't being completely banned, but they're taking the steps into making it so they can't be profitable to those people, which is good. Reddit is another place that they've been closing down subreddits and things like that. So it's been kind of crazy, and I don't want to get into too many details because it's really like those people's stories to tell, and for us as men to listen and learn from. And I think the gaming community is really getting that. I will say that there has also been some stories that are coming out with no. I feel like there's like this unwritten guideline where if you tell a story about a situation, it's really not credible unless someone else defends you or tells the exact same story or has another like if a woman comes out and says this is what happened to me and there's no other anything around it, right? There's not a second person that can defend or whatever. That it gets a little funky there. And there were a couple of those as well where some women came out with some pretty painful stories
outlandish
to listen to. Yeah, but nothing, no proof, no support. And that's where it gets kind of challenging because, in the world we live in, the what's being called cancel culture.
Yeah.
Things being said like that aren't true, they can really still bury a person even if they're not true. And that's where it's like, there is that line. But it's challenging because, we're also dealing with things that are very personal. And, a lot of the stories, there may not be proof or a witness or anything like that, So it's kind of hard. Like you kind of have to listen to both sides of the story in a lot of these ways and make your best decision on your personal opinion. And that can be dangerous. So,
yeah, I mean, the media does have a history of that where they will hear something, get a hold of a situation or a potential story that, when said a certain way, is a very juicy headline, and it'll get a lot of clickbait and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, have we proven that this actually happened, or what are our sources? Have we backed this up, or is this just I want to beat everybody to the punch?
Yeah.
So that I can look like I'm superior and be first to all this, but I haven't vetted any of this information, and now look at the aftermath that I've created because of this.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been the talk of the community. The amount of support around these women has been really amazing. It's been nice for me to see as an older gamer. I mean, I'm only 34. I'm turning 35. But when you're talking to the gaming community, that's
12,
like 60s.
You know what I mean? when you're not like 14 or
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. So
Like,
for me,
there's a big population of people waiting to get their driver's license who are big into
yes.
gaming. You know what I mean? So
Exactly. So I am considered on the older side of the spectrum, but it's nice for me to see that this is a educational time, and people are learning. And like I've talked to you about this before. The gaming community is unique in the sense of video games were created by old men. They're originally they were created by older men. They were a lot of times, like, gaming is known for being that outlet for people that have social issues. They're socially awkward. They're a little different. They go against the grain. It's
yeah,
there are those people that are just normal people. I consider myself kind of crazy, but more of the normal side of people where I get along with people. I'm not socially awkward. But I love gaming. Like, it's my true passion. But the majority of the community, or not the majority, but a large portion of the community, they're very different, unique people. And nowadays, gaming with these platforms like Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, things like that, they're making those people famous. Like,
yeah,
you can have a guy like, for example, a guy I'm going to talk about in a minute, Shroud. Shroud is a gamer. His real name's Mike. Oh shoot, I always forget how to pronounce it. It's like Gretzky or something like that. He's a super mellow dude, but you can tell he's kind of on that. I don't want to, and I'm not trying to say this in a negative way, but he's more of like on the nerdy side of things, right? And this is a guy that has millions of followers, has made millions of dollars. And it's like, it's just not a person that you would normally see in the normal spotlight,
yeah,
Probably not
yeah.
the best example, because from
Well, and
my knowledge of
how does
Shroud,
he handle it? I mean,
he
how
handles,
does
yeah,
people like that?
he handles it really well. And like I was gonna say, probably not the best example, because Shroud actually, if you like watch him stream and stuff, he actually seems like a really cool dude, really down to earth dude.
Is he like a pretty humble guy? Is that
Yeah,
why? Like, he's not trying to be like, I'm like the cream of, like, the
yeah,
best man in the world because I'm better than you or anything
yeah.
like
But
that.
yeah, but if gaming wasn't at the popularity it's at now, he's not the type of guy that you would probably see in any kind of spotlight. Just
Yeah.
it's because of his skill as a gamer and how gaming has become so popular over the last few years that has put him in that spotlight. So there's a lot of people like him, or even worse. And sorry, Shroud, if you ever hear this, I'm not talking shit. I love your content, but just it's so you have these people. What I'm trying to get to is, you have these people that are socially awkward. They have,
They're more introverted people, right?
yes,
Like,
yeah, heavily. They have,
they're less likely to go out or be around a lot of people, and then for
yeah,
whatever reason they gravitated towards the online world and
yeah,
gaming,
and
and
blew
they
up, and they blow up.
well,
And then what happens is, they go to these shows or these
yeah,
events, and they're a rock star.
yeah.
The girls are, literally just like rock stars. They're throwing themselves at these
All of a
guys and
sudden there's
stuff.
not a screen like separating you from
Yeah.
anyone,
And then all of a sudden, those male hormones come into play, and here you have
Yeah.
this little awkward guy that's,
Right,
usually
yeah.
uncomfortable, who now thinks he's a legend. And it just, the ego goes
Yeah, you don't know how to
overboard.
deal with it,
They don't know what to
you know?
do. So, and I'm not defending them whatsoever. That's not an excuse for you to inappropriately touch or
Right.
harass a woman, no matter what. I'm just saying, what I'm trying to say is, like, it's very different in the gaming community as it would be in like normal famous circles, that you're kind of, that's what you're striving for. You're striving to be that person. These people are striving to be great at video games, and all of a sudden, they put a camera on and their Twitch stream blows up. The next thing you know, they've got thousands of people that know who they are and want to be their friend. So, but it's been good to see the true stories that are coming out, the actions that are being taken against those people. Some big name people, like in the Destiny community. There's a handful that were part of a team that, like, had a Discord channel. Discord is kind of like a gaming version of Skype, but you can have like a lobby and everything. There was, I guess, a group. I can't think of their name right now. And again, I don't want to give them any credit, but they had like a Discord channel where they were hooking up with girls and taking naked pictures of them and sharing them amongst each other. So it's like inappropriate things like
God.
that, you know. So
Yeah.
that whole team pretty much got buried. They'll never be popular in the gaming industry again. The Say No to Rage guy, he's been buried. Some of the bigger guys, they've been kind of fighting, going back and forth with some of these stories, but it's been quite a few. A bunch of big name players in the esports side have been kicked from teams, banned from events, things like that. So it's been good to see, and I can only imagine how uncomfortable and hard it must be for those girls to not only go through that, but then have to tell that story to the world, you know, because then, like, unfortunately, the dark side of the gaming community is they're the most fucking the biggest community of just little trolls. You know, you got 12-year-olds that, you know, they'll talk shit because they're behind a microphone. You're not face to face.
Everyone is, you know.
Yeah, just internet gangsters were defined from the gaming community.
It's so easy to flex when no one can see your muscles.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so, it's really what it is.
So, you know, you got, you know, when the stories come out on Twitter, some of the comments you read are just disgusting because it's, you know, it's a person that, you know, has an attachment to this person that's being called out for, you know, sexual misconduct, and then their little followers start saying, oh, this chick's lying, she's a slut or whatever, and like they don't know anything about any of these people, but because they have that power, they feel they have that power because their face will never be shown. It gets pretty vulgar, but so it's got to be pretty hard on those girls, but I think it's great that they're doing it. I think that if there's anyone else out there that has a story that they feel is necessary to be told, I hope they find the courage to share it and know that the real people in this world will support them, and that's all that they should focus on. There's always going to be the kids, no matter how far we grow in the future with, you know, Black Lives Matter or Me Too, you know, homophobes, racists. There's always going to be haters. Haters is that's just a part of our.
It's a part of life nowadays.
Yeah, you know, so
it is what it is. Hate to say it.
Yeah. I just hope, and especially when you're able to have a mask, which is a username, you know.
Yeah.
I just hope that any girls out there that still have stories that they feel are important to get these people that are in positions of fame and power out of those positions because they shouldn't be in them, that they share those stories and look for the people that will support them. So good job so far. Keep it up and stay strong. I want to navigate now to some other kind of crazy news in the gaming community. So basically, over the last decade, streaming has become really the main side of the gaming community as a whole. Streaming is where, you know, people get online, they're playing video games. I do it. And you are live streaming yourself playing a game. You have a chat. You can talk to, you know, people come in, can watch you, they can talk to you, you can talk back to them. You know, it's actually really
These
fun.
are people that are just like literally watching you. They're not even playing themselves.
I mean, they might be, but you know,
so it's evolved from like the Xbox Live theory where you're playing against other people who are also playing online.
Yeah.
But now you're also playing, but people are just like hanging out watching you play because it's entertaining to watch you play a video game.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So the biggest player in this is Twitch. Twitch is owned by Amazon. They're huge. And when I say huge, I mean millions of streamers.
Yeah, I mean, it's big enough to where I've heard of them even before you told me about them. So I knew they were pretty big.
Millions of streamers, tens of millions of viewers, multi-million-dollar contracts with the bigger streamers. Second player is YouTube, and then there's Mixer. Mixer is owned by Microsoft, and then Facebook Gaming, which is a joke. So sorry, Facebook, I said it. You're a joke. So some craziness that's happened over the last year. Twitch has just been dominating it since the start. You know, they're the model, right? Microsoft started dumping a lot of money into Mixer, and how they did that is they basically stole without technically stealing. They signed two of Twitch's biggest streamers to independent contracts, so they would only stream on Mixer, and that was Tyler Blevins, who's widely known as Ninja, a huge Fortnite streamer. He streams a bunch of other games, but he's known for Fortnite.
But
And
Twitch didn't have them like already under contract at all.
No,
at
no,
this time.
no.
So they were already they were basically profiting off of whatever monetizations they had, but they didn't have an exclusive contract with Twitch.
So how it works with Twitch is you get to the point where if you have enough viewers, and a large enough active chat, you can become a partner with Twitch, which then you get what's called a subscriber button on your channel. If you subscribe to a certain streamer, you're paying $5. That $5 is most of the time split 50-50. So the streamer gets $2.50, Twitch gets $2.50. There has been some chitter chatter that the larger streamers negotiated a $3, $2. But basically it's
and those subscribers pay monthly?
Yeah. So it's $5 a month. Which doesn't seem like much, but some of these streamers, like there's a guy, Nick Merckx, who's a pretty popular streamer who he just hit 50,000 subscribers the other day. Wow. So do the math, 50,000 subscribers at his shares, $2.50 per subscriber. The dude's making some big bucks, and that's just
he's making $125,000 a month.
Yeah, and that's just off the subscribers. There's also a big part of it is the ad revenue from the ads that are played on the channel. He gets a portion of that. Any kind of sponsors they have. Some of these guys have sponsorships. Ninja has a sponsorship with Red Bull. A lot of them have sponsorships with Monster. Like these aren't little tiny off the wall sponsors. Some of them are, but they're big time sponsors.
They're almost treated like athletes, like professional athletes in a way. You know, I mean, you said, like him moving from one platform to the other. It's almost like, I don't know, is it like a guy in free agency signing with another team, or I'm leaving Nike to go sign with Adidas, you know, or something like that, you know?
Kind of. So let me get to that. So the other largest aspect of it is donations. Is people do what's called donations or tipping, where you can give the streamer money. And I mean, I've seen donations of upwards of $5,000. You know, they have it set up so it pops up on the screen, so and so donated X amount of dollars. And it's cool because like the streamer usually, they recognize that and they go, oh, yo, thanks, Danny Barros 123 for the $5 sub, or $5 donation, whatever. So,
how much have you gotten in donations so far?
I've got a few $1,000s overall.
Nice,
but I mean, mine aren't usually just like $1 or $2. I've had a couple
bucks here and there.
Though. But yeah, but I've been doing it. I've been doing it for almost 5 years, and I do it as a total hobby. Like I break all the rules. I don't promote because I'm lazy. I like just to sit down, hit the live button, play some games. Whoever pops in, I'll talk to them, and then I'm out. I have a family and stuff. The big thing of the big streamers is they do their stream, and then they take their best clips from those streams. They put them up on YouTube. They're always on Twitter and all that stuff. I don't have the time for all that, so I just do my own thing. Of course, the dream for anyone would be to blow up, but it's not like I'm not striving for that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work to blow up. You got to flood the market hard,
and you have to be good. And let's be honest, I'm trash at most games, so I just play to have fun. So
I know you're terrible, dude.
Shut up! You don't even know how to hold a controller, dude. All right. So
not yet.
So here's where I wanted to give the back story so those that aren't familiar with how it works are aware. So about a year ago, Mixer came out of nowhere and they signed Ninja to an exclusive contract where he would exclusively move to Mixer, stream on Mixer, left Twitch. It was like a bomb. This was like how did you explain it when I talked to you about this the other day? You explained it how to.
Yeah, it was like let's say if Jordan after 10 years left Nike and wanted to go sign with Reebok or something like that.
Yes. Okay. So that's exactly what it's like in the gaming bubble, right? It's like Michael Jordan saying after all the Air Jordans, Nike's basically tattooed on his forehead, goes, "I'm going to Reebok. I'm out." That's exactly what it's like, So and it was a pretty ugly split. He went to Mixer. First Twitch removed his channel, which has never been done before. Because now, it's not how this is designed is when you move it, it's not like you lose everything. You keep everything. You're not streaming anymore. You're not going live. Like you can still have your account and everything.
Yeah, he walked away. He wasn't banned.
Yeah. So they deleted his channel, and then within a few hours they brought it back. And then what they decided to do was put up links to other streamers on his channel, something that's never been done. And the big drama around that was one of the top links was to a dude that was streaming porn. And that was like that. And that went on for, I think it was about 8 hours before Twitch realized took care of it. But this is the thing that makes it like, it's funny. But the thing that makes it not funny is Ninja used to be like this kind of rage streamer. He'd swear a lot. It was really funny and stuff. And then when he got into Fortnite is very kid friendly for a shooter game. He changed his complete style. He adapted with his audience and stopped swearing to be more kid friendly. He was able to remove the 18 or over tag on his account. And that's what really made him blow up. So the thing that really triggered him and made it look really classless. Yeah, oh no, it was major. I mean, it made him the most biggest name in gaming history, really up to date. But what made Twitch look really bad because, you know, this is a channel that kids are still going to his old channel and now they're seeing porn, you know? So it wasn't a good look. It was an ugly breakup. And then about, I think 2 or 3 months after that, Shroud jumped ship, and Twitch handled that a little bit better. They said goodbye, best of luck, blah, blah, blah. But he jumped ship. So Mixer started looking really good. A little bit after that, another guy, King Gathalion, left. King Gathalion was a little bit lower, not as popular, but still had his great following. He's one of, if not the biggest name in the Destiny community, that video game. So he jumped ship. So you start seeing all these guys going to Mixer that are big names in their respective games, jumping ship to Mixer. So Twitch kind of panicked and they started signing everybody, right? All the other best streamers, they started signing them. We got DrDisrespect is a big one.
Heck yeah.
Summit, 1G, Tim the Tapman. These are all, I think Nick Merckx too. Like these are all like the big guys that were left on Twitch. They started signing them up. So what's happened just over a week ago now, which is another big fucking explosion in the gaming world, out of literally nowhere. Let me rewind a little bit more. A few months ago, some stats came out showing the growth of all these platforms. Twitch had grown by like 200 or 300%. YouTube had grown by like 150%. Even Facebook Gaming had grown like 50%. And then there was Mixer that had
wait. Was that one question
Yes.
for you? Do you think a lot of the growth has to do with the shelter in place?
So no, because these stats actually came out right before shelter in place. So now they're probably even crazier.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that probably a lot of people took up gaming or are gaming more in different capacities than they were before.
But this was the red flag. Was after Ninja, Shroud, King Gathalion, and I think a couple other smaller guys jumped ship. Mixer's growth, I'm not bullshitting you, 0.02%, which was not at all what they're expecting. It's
crazy with that amount of talent, like jumping ship. You know,
you would think at the least, if you didn't watch those guys, it would make you interested in looking into other things.
Yeah, check it out.
It's funny because I'm a perfect example of this. I used to watch Shroud all the time. He jumped ship. I stopped watching Shroud. You know why? Because I was too lazy to open another browser window and sign into Mixer. I liked just being on Twitch's dashboard where I could just click through the streamers I like. I was now I got to go to another browser. Like it's a straight freaking American lazy ass move. But I'm obviously not the only one that's like that.
No, and I mean, nor should you be. I mean, it's like
So I still caught up.
Convenience is a thing. People love convenience.
Yeah. You know? So I still caught up on all his content on YouTube, but I never really watched his Mixer streams. I think I watched the first one just to see like the reaction and everything, and then after that I was like, whatever. So that was kind of the red flag that things were not looking good, right? And then about a month or a month and a half ago, some story came out that there was some issues with some of the leads in Mixer and some racism or some things like that, and like the design and the main Mixer team were not happy, right? So out of nowhere, about a week and a half ago now, Microsoft announces, literally out of the blue, and this is how shady they did this. On Twitter, they sent a tweet saying, as of July 22nd of this year, Mixer will be closing and all of our partners will be transitioned over to Facebook Gaming. And then 20 minutes after that, they sent emails to all their partners. So their partners found out from a tweet that they were basically losing the platform that they do their job on.
Yeah.
Now, this was including Ninja, Shroud, Gothalion. Gothalion went to Facebook Gaming, but the big two, Ninja and Shroud, is finally the numbers came out because no one knew the numbers, right? So they declined that, and they were forced, Mixer was forced to buy them out of their contracts. Ninja's contract was $30 million.
Nice.
Shroud's contract was $10 million. So Ninja made $30 million in just under a year, just from his contract with his exclusive contract with Mixer. I think Shroud was at Mixer for maybe 8 months, 7 to 8 months, $10 million. And now they're free to go wherever they want to go. They can go back to Twitch, they can go to YouTube, whatever. So just to show you like the money that is involved in streaming these days.
They can build their own platform with that money.
Yeah, almost. So that was like a huge part of news that happened right around the same time as all these female streamers coming out with their stories. So like the gaming community just gone nuts, right?
Yeah.
And now we have these two top streamers, top gamers in the industry are, I mean, I guess you call them free agents. They can go wherever they want. And everyone's speculating where they think they'll go, this and that. My personal theory, Shroud comes back to Twitch. Ninja goes to YouTube just because of how ugly the breakup was between them. If Twitch was smart, they would sit down, they would apologize to Ninja, give him whatever he fucking wants, and bring him back because the dude has been gone from Twitch. And this is why. The dude has been gone from Twitch for a year. He still has, I think it's like 5 to 6 million followers more on his dead Twitch channel than the next biggest streamer on Twitch.
Oh, God.
You need to bring him back if you have any brain cells. But Ninja's also in the position. Easy
cash cow.
Yep, exactly. But Ninja's also in the position. The dude just walked away with a $30 million check. He's made millions before that. He doesn't need the money. He can do whatever he wants. Right. So that's my theory.
He could be looking at Twitch and be like, let's do this. But you better know I'm in the driver's seat when we're doing this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I've got all the leverage here because you already let me walk and I made a lot of money, so I don't really need you at the same time.
Yeah. So the plot thickens more now. 5 days ago. So 5 days ago, I wake up. We're dealing with all these female streamers having these horrifying stories. You know, the gaming community is almost in a sense collapsing in a way. Then, you know, the bomb drops of Mixer closing down. All their streamers are their partner streamers. And I don't want to, you know, the focus is on Ninja and Shroud, but we can't forget that they had thousands of partner streamers that have to find a new home too. Majority of them are transferring over to Twitch, and the Twitch community has been amazing at welcoming them, giving support. So it's been fun to watch. But 5 days ago, I'm watching one of my top 2 favorite streamers, DrDisrespect. Okay, now DrDisrespect, the guy's name, his real name is Guy Beam. This is like a 6'8" guy. He used to work for Activision and created maps for multiplayer maps for Call of Duty, one of the most popular franchises in gaming, right? He, out of nowhere, I don't know the exact story. I know it's out there, but he had this like alter ego kind of joke where he wears a mullet, wig, glasses, headphones. He has a big old mustache that's real, tactical vest, and he is just this most outlandish freaking guy. And it's a character. It's a total character. It's hilarious. I mean, the name is DrDisrespect.
And that's a perfect example of the type of people who personify themselves on these platforms and basically lead a different life on the internet than who they are in real life.
Yeah. But it's fun. It was fun. He was fun because he was different. You know, he was the only one that kind of was doing a character like that. Everyone else is just themselves. Yeah. He's cool. Really good. He's a really good gamer. Hilarious guy. Very controversial in the fact that it's in his name. Like he plays that character, DrDisrespect, you know? I would recommend if anyone wanted to really understand him to look up some of his content. It's all over YouTube still.
Yeah, totally.
So
I did myself recently.
So I'm watching his stream and I usually just watch a lot of clips on YouTube. I don't really have time to watch the full 8-hour streams that these guys do. But I try to catch him. DrDisrespect is one at work I would have off on a side monitor while I'm working, just to be able to listen to him. He's funny. The dude's just funny.
Just listen to him rant.
So I'm watching it, and it's the end of his stream, and he starts playing this video of a game called Roblox, and it's some, I don't even know what the game's about. It's some dumb little game, and it's a girl commentating whose voice is chalkboard scratch worthy.
Yeah.
And someone donated and posted him this link to watch this. He's watching on stream, right? And it's just, I'm like listening to it, and I'm working, right? So I'm working, I'm listening to this, and I'm like, dude, why is he not saying anything? He's just letting this play. And I look over, and he's just like sitting there, like blank staring, watching it. And it was just very out of character. He is the type by now, this was like 3 minutes into this video, would have been roasting this to, another planet, just destroying how stupid the game is, how annoying she sounds, like just doing his thing. Stone cold quiet. And then out of nowhere, this goes on for like 8 minutes. And then out of nowhere, he basically just goes, so his community, he calls them, every streamer has their community. They have their fun little name for it. His community, he calls the Champions Club. So out of nowhere, he just kind of mumbles. He just goes, we're going to get through this, Champions Club. It's hard times. We're going to get through this. And then he kind of looks around and goes, fuck. And then ends the stream. It was just very like weird.
Didn't you get like a cell phone message or something?
So yeah, if you look back and you rewatch it, there is a part where he kind of like leans over and like looks like he pulls his cell phone out of his pocket and is looking at it. And at that point is when his whole tone and mood kind of flips from his character to this kind of guy that it almost just looks like he just got some devastating news. Right.
Yeah, you kind of see him like deflate like on the inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it was very strange. And then you can see a part where his wife comes in. His wife's nickname is Miss Assassin. And he says something to her and is like, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But then really quickly, you kind of see he says something and then he says something else, but you don't hear it. Like he mutes to say something to her offline, but you can see his mouth move. So it's just it's just kind of these little things. If you watch those last 8 minutes a few times, that you pick up that you're like, oh, I didn't see that. That's interesting. He plays it off really smooth. But if you watch this guy enough, this is way out of character. This is not, this is way out of his character's character. So, so the stream ends and I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then about an hour later, my Twitter alerts start blowing up and I look and the big headline, DrDisrespect permanently banned from Twitch, which you're just kind of like, what? Like permanently. And this is what, like, he's been banned before because his character is outlandish. He had a stint last year at TwitchCon. TwitchCon's like the big yearly event for Twitch streamers. He goes in full character and he's streaming in real life. It's called IRL streaming, where they're, someone's following him with a camera and his stream's up and everything, just being his typical jackass self. But he goes into the men's bathroom and the cameraman follows him. He's 6'8". There's a part where he's in the stall and you just see his head above the stall. He's just being dumb. But the problem with that was some underage kid was in there taking a leak, and you kind of catch him, not any of his parts, but his face off the side of the camera, and that's against their terms of service because that's videotaping in a private place. So he got I think like a 2-week temporary ban. But the thing that was different about this is they called it a permanent ban, and then within hours after that, everybody, including myself, started getting refunds to his subscriptions. Now that is like, okay, this is the real deal ban. Twitch comes out with an announcement just saying, we have intel that DrDisrespect went against our terms of service and he's been permanently banned. That's it. Nothing else. No other information about it.
Or anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
And then like about 24 hours later, DrDisrespect tweets out, Twitch has still not told me why I've been banned. Champions Club, thanks for the support through these hard times. DrDisrespect. Now it's been 5 days and we have gotten nothing on this. And this is what makes this so weird, okay? Yeah. We're talking about an industry that is notorious for leaks. Like if a game is announced, a big AAA title game is announced, days later, gameplay leak, story leak, this leak, that leak, this is going to be in this game, leak, everything's leaked. Every single game is like that. Nothing for 5 days. All we have is a bucket full of theories conspiracy
Crazy,
theories.
man.
And it's hard to try to like explain how weird it is unless you're a part of the community and understand how it works. There's been a couple people that are credible that have tweeted out things like, I know why DrDisrespect's banned. It's a real deal, but I'm not comfortable telling, which is it's clout chasing. Clout chasing is, they're putting something out there to get retweets and likes and things like that. But it's bullshit. Like if they do know,
they're trying to build their own personal
yeah. And I mean, and some of the sources are credible enough to where they probably do know. But if you're not going to share, then don't put that shit up. Why
even say that? Yeah, why even say that?
And a couple of them have apologized for that, but it's just like this has been like the world's best kept secret in an industry that is built on leaks. Like it's just so eerie.
Which means it'll probably leak at some point. It's just a matter of time,
Yeah. So and the theories are crazy. They're as far as child porn. Stupid watch. The theories are as far as child porn, which I think is a complete joke, to more realistic theories of like tax evasion, things like that. Now, there is one theory that kind of makes it go towards the bad side, where about 2 years ago, he did have another issue at TwitchCon where apparently he was unfaithful to his wife. No one knows the details to that, but there was a part where he came onto his stream out of character as Guy Beam himself, crying and basically said, you know what, I apologize. I've been unfaithful to my wife. I'm going to have to step away from streaming to work, to take care of my family. And he stepped away for, I think, about a month or two. So there are some theories, because no one ever, like, there was a theory back then that he had been unfaithful with another like big female streamer. And there's always the theory. It's always theories. No one knows, but there's the theories that he or whoever had paid her to be quiet. The reason he went on stream like that, which was another thing very out of character for him, is because he was blackmailed into doing it. So one of the theories is this person has now come to Twitch and been like, you know what, because of all this Me Too stuff coming up, right, has come to Twitch and been like, you know what, I'm actually not happy with the deal we broke. I'm going to go to whoever if you don't pay me more. And Twitch just was like, you know what, this is too much. We'll just get rid of DrDisrespect. Like, no, we're not paying you more. We'll just get rid of DrDisrespect. I feel like that is not probable.
Well, I feel like if that were the reason, like, then they would tell why, mm-hmm. and then like, as part of the Me Too movement, like, I don't think there'd be any reason why that they wouldn't want this woman to tell her story if Twitch was in fact banning him because of that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one of the interesting theories, I'm not going to go into too much detail on all these because it just, we don't know. We just don't know. But some of these are interesting to the point where it's worth entertaining. Another big one that is, again, unrealistic is Ninja, Shroud, and DrDisrespect were starting to plan opening their own streaming platform, because Twitch has they've done some things pretty shitty lately. Like they don't ban people. Like, there's not an equal playing field. Like, some people get banned for the littlest of things. Some people get banned for abusing animals on stream, or don't get banned when they have video proof of them abusing animals. There's one streamer named Alinity, whatever. She's a terrible person, but she's thrown her cat on stream. She's fed her cat vodka. She had a nip slip on stream. She's not banned, but we've seen other streamers get banned for smashing their keyboard, and that they're banned because that's self-harm. So it's like, how Twitch bans is all over the place. They've gotten a lot of backlash for it. So it's just like,
it kind of sound like the NFL.
Yeah. It's basically what they are.
People.
Yeah, like, they just don't know they don't know where to draw the line and keep that line. Like, it's got to be all or nothing.
Like, okay, if you hit this, then it's this type of suspension or this type of ban.
So
you need a matrix.
Yeah. So another theory is that the three of them, Ninja, Shroud, DrDisrespect, were getting together to make their own streaming platform. And DrDisrespect had gone to some other streamers to talk to them about it. One of those streamers went in and basically snitched to Twitch, and Twitch cut him off because that's a breach of their contract. Blah 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 blah. That is interesting to entertain, but the reason I don't believe it is because even with the amount of money and fame that Ninja and Shroud and Dr. Disrespect have, it takes so much money to make that a platform the size that it would need to be to handle this. They would need some crazy backing. More information would have already been known about it. It just, there's too
My
much.
thing is, like, if you're a gamer and you have fun gaming and you already have millions of followers and millions of dollars, why would you even need to waste your time building a platform?
Well, I get that, but at the same time, like, these three guys are adults. They're not kids. You know, these are guys that are in their late 20s, early 30s. You know, they're thinking the future of gaming. You know, they're three of the guys that are definitely the most revolutionary in the industry.
It's gonna take away from your gaming though, all that work.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Now here's the theory that's come out the last couple of days that's really kind of interested me, but I still don't quite believe it. Is Ninja and Shroud are back on the playing field, right? And there's no competition really for Twitch right now outside of YouTube, which is not really that competitive with the streaming side. YouTube's more video side.
Right, yeah.
Their streaming side is huge. I'm not trying to undercut that, but it's just not it's not YouTube's main priority. So here's the theory that's going out. Is Twitch has realized they don't need to pay all these guys these tens of millions of dollars anymore. Let's cut Dr. Disrespect, who is very controversial, is a headache a lot of the times. Yeah, he has a huge fan base, but brings a lot of conflict in a time that, you know, is very sensitive with conflict. Let's dump him, use that money to bring Shroud and Ninja back. So kind of crazy, but not unrealistic in the reality that Ninja and Shroud are the baby faces of gaming. They're classy guys. They're, you know, usually pretty professional. They're family friendly. Dr. Disrespect is anything but family friendly. You know, in a time where, you know, racism is so sensitive, sexism is so sensitive, he's the last person you really probably want as one of the faces of your platform. And I get that. My reason where I don't think that's the real, and I've looked through their terms of service, and it's really, dude, it is 100% designed. Twitch can basically say, and it is literally almost word for word in the terms of service, say that they can cut you loose for anything that they deem against their guidelines or what their vision is for the platform.
I mean, on one hand, Twitch has to realize though, dude, like, I get it that Ninja and Shroud are a little bit more PG, you know, in terms of, you know, how they present themselves and the content that they put out, you know, and what type of audience can be exposed to that. But at the same time, it's like, you know, Howard Stern gave no fucks, and he made a name for himself because of that. And there's a certain type of person who loves that and wants to tune into that because it's somebody
that type of person.
It's somebody who will toe the line, and it's somebody who will always, and it's entertaining. It's an entertainment factor. Yeah. Okay, if you're tuning into Dr. Disrespect to be disrespectful, you know, like you know exactly what you're getting into when you're tuning into this. Yeah. And you know, and you hope that when he turns things off and he, you know, takes the mullet off and all that kind of stuff, that he doesn't exuberate those same things in his normal life. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just, and that's where people need to really, hopefully, you know, differentiate a internet persona and a personality versus a real life human being, and what's being done virtually and through a screen, just you know, talking and for entertainment value. I mean, we don't want to be, you know, you know, racist or vile or, you know, abusive or things like that, but we can be funny and we can toe the line, and we can sports and gaming should be competitive, and you want to be able to talk shit. You know, and at the end of the day, it's like we know it's all in good fun for the most part, or it should be, at least, you know.
Yeah. And here's the thing with Dr. Disrespect that I skipped over that I wanted to mention is, you know, like you just said, this is a character. If you have any brain cells whatsoever, you know when you're watching him, it is a character. It's a show. But even within that character, this guy has done some truly amazing things on stream. There's these scenarios where topics come up in the news and he rips people about them in the positive way. He has been one of, if not the biggest forefronts of the Black Lives Matter movement on Twitch. He instantly,
cool.
within days after George Floyd's death, announced that the entire month of June, any donation he gets, is going towards charity, to raise equality awareness.
Yeah.
For a streamer of his stature, that's tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of donations that he is
Which
donating.
Twitch took away by
Yeah.
banning him.
Yeah.
You know,
there's been
so
like,
they should be donating those would-be dollars.
yeah,
You know,
exactly. His speech in / out of character regarding hate and racism, you know, it was a beautiful speech. Like, this is a guy, like, he comes out of character partially, talks real, and then dives back into character. But like, the way he does it is in a way where you're like, it's kind of like Dave Chappelle. He almost does it like Dave Chappelle, where like Dave Chappelle can have this gruesome ass freaking nasty comedy skit, and in that same hour, he can hit you with some fucking real knowledge that hits you in the heart. Dr. Disrespect is literally the gamer Dave Chappelle in that sense, where he's hilarious, but when he hits you with knowledge, you listen. So it's like,
it's because he's captivating, man.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
He's got your attention. You know, when he's you know, he's playing his part.
Yeah.
But he's also, and because of that, he can have your attention however he wants it.
Yeah. So it's just weird. That whole thing. And the other, I want to really quickly just end my scenario with Twitch getting rid of him to bring Shrouded Ninja back. The other thing that I think that's BS is, if that came out in any shape or form, that would look so bad on Twitch. And like, first off, Ninja and Shroud, that would turn me off if I was one of them, because guess what? They could do the exact same thing to me. Anyone that's in a major contract with Twitch, that should be very concerning to them, because you're basically telling them, hey, if you guys do something we don't like, we're going to cut your ass for whatever it is. You know, even if it's not necessarily breaking the rules. But I can't really say that, because here's the thing. He's definitely done things. He's crossed the boundary in the what's in writing on the TOS. But, you know, if they were to come out and say, oh, we banned him because on this stream 3 months ago he did an Asian accent, technically that's against the terms of service, but in reality it's a bullshit excuse. So it's just, we're gonna have to wait and see. The last thing I want to touch on it, because I've been blabbing about this for way too long again. This is Christopher Columbus 2.0. This is another thing that was kind of crazy. So apparently Donald Trump had a Twitch account, or his party did. I didn't even know this. Twitch just freaking suspended Donald Trump's account 2 days ago. This is what's weird about it, and this draws the red flag. In Twitch's statement, they said they're suspending Donald Trump's Twitch account for hate speech. So right there, they've given a reason why they did it.
Right.
But no reason for Dr. Disrespect. And that's what makes it so eerie, is everyone's so tight-lipped about Dr. Disrespect, but Donald Trump, you suspend his account, and you right there in the same, literally the same little statement, you at least gave a reason. And apparently what it was is they'd replayed his speech from 2016 or something, when he basically said Mexicans are sending in rapists or something, right? Remember that? They replayed that speech.
In that speech, you know, but yeah.
They replayed
they want
that.
to hang their hat on, you know, it's fine.
Yeah, so they replayed that speech on the Donald Trump Twitter account, and that's what triggered the suspension. But the fact that they gave a reason, even they didn't say that's what it was for. That's what everyone's assuming it was about. They just said for hate speech. That was it. But they gave a reason. And that's what makes it so weird to me. Yeah. Why would you give a reason for this guy, but not your biggest top 5 streamers on your platform? and it's been 5 days now. For people that are listening to this, because we actually, Danny and I, we record this on Wednesday night and we release it Friday morning. So by the time this is getting out to people, we may have an answer about Dr. Disrespect and some other things, Twitch or Ninja and Shroud. But
7 days,
But at this point, the fact that this secret has been kept secret for 5 days in the gaming community, this is some Area 51 status secrecy. Like, it's just really
he hasn't
weird.
resurfaced on another platform or anything like that?
The only thing we've heard from Dr. Disrespect since he got banned was the one tweet saying that Twitch has not told him why he has been banned yet. We have not heard anything. And that was 24 hours after the ban. He got banned last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. No, maybe it was, I think, Thursday. Yeah, it was. So last Thursday afternoon is when he got banned. 24 hours later, that Friday afternoon is when he released that tweet. And we have heard nothing since from either side. From there, it's just been nothing but theories.
Yeah.
So it has been 5 days since the ban, 4 days since Dr. Disrespect's little, I guess, announcement, whatever you want to call it, update, which wasn't an update. So, and that's another thing is like, if we don't know, I mean, I think that's bullshit. I think he definitely knows why. The reason it's so secret is whatever it is, it has to be some serious legal issue. That's the only answer.
I think if no one's talking on it, it could be allegations at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something it's alleged to do, or somebody is claiming he did, which there could be an investigation that needs to go and happen and get underway. And then there has to be findings, and there has to be a ruling and all that good stuff. So that's going to take some time.
So I thought about that, but I'm going to debunk that real quick. The reason I'm going to debunk that is because we're dealing with this gaming Me Too movement, where all of these people that Twitch has been banning, they are all allegations. Nothing has been confirmed or charges pressed or anything on any of the people that they've banned for these allegations. And we know what those are. And but that is because those people spoke out. So I guess technically I'm not debunking it, because you could be right, and it could be a scenario where the female person, if it is that or whatever it is, the other side has given the allegation to Twitch, but has not come public with it yet. So that is okay. You are right. That is very possible, but I don't know, man. I'm to the point now where I'm just like, I don't know, but it's frustrating.
It's like if you're Twitch, and all these things have been happening about whether it's the Me Too side of things or people leaving your platform for other platforms, and whatever you're holding on to with this Dr. Disrespect thing, however you're handling it. I mean, it's possible that somebody inside of Twitch, or they hired somebody new and said, "Hey, let's not screw this one up.
Yeah,
we need to be smart about how we go about this, because if this happened, then sure, we want to ban it. But if this didn't happen, then we want to be able to bring him back and repair this." But the fact that they're going so far as permanent, like a lot of times, if it's allegations and they need to be proven that you did something, a lot of times it's your temporary ban because we need to investigate these reasons why, and it's pretty public, and then it becomes there's a ruling to one side or the other, and we know where things stand.
Yeah.
Whereas you already came out with the permanent ban, so you know something, but why aren't you telling everyone?
Yeah.
For the reason why? And it's like, if you know it that concretely to come that hard and strong right out of the gate, it should be something that you feel comfortable. Yeah, it's it's pretty black and white. It's a permanent ban. Like, here's what he did. You know? So
yeah, it's just weird, dude. And the reason I'm so invested into it is because, like I've said, this is a guy I watch. I'm invested. I'm a subscriber. And I'm not like
it'd be like if they told me that Steph Curry couldn't play anymore ever.
Yeah, and didn't give you a reason why. No, he can't play. He's not playing no more. That's it. Carry on.
I mean,
so that's what's frustrating for me is I feel almost like I have a right to know. And however far it is, if it's as crazy as child porn ring, to leader of a child porn ring, to tax evasion, like the outcome would suck either way. But I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I supported that guy. I just like, okay, well, Turns out he's a piece of crap. Moving on. But it's the fact that I'm sitting here like, what is going on? I just feel because I'm invested. Because I'm invested, you know? I was sitting on the couch the other day looking at tweets, and my wife was just like, dude, you've got a problem. And I'm like, and I tried to explain it to her. It's like, you don't get it. Like, this dude is in my ear every day. And now all of a sudden he's not, and it's fine that he's not. I have a dozen other guys I love to watch too. But I need that closure. It's like I explained it to her this, like we had a cat many years ago that was an indoor cat, right? And just out of nowhere, just every day, all day, would sit and start meowing at the front door. Drove us crazy to the point where we were finally like, you know what? I think we just need to let him go outside and hope for the best. See what happens. The dude goes outside, 10, 15 steps out, okay, comes back, and then goes. And I'm just like, all right, well, put food out every night. The cat vanished for 3 weeks. And that 3 weeks, my mind, what happened? Like, if he was dead, I didn't care. But you want to know. Needed that closure, Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I hear him meowing at the door. The dude comes in like he's never been gone, goes over, eats some food, and goes out for another 3 or 4 weeks. He just flipped into an outdoor cat. Wow. But it's like, for that first time, it's like, did he get hit by a car? Is he in a gutter, freaking bleeding to death, suffering? Is he stuck in some open field, starving and can't find food? Like, I just need the closure. Whatever it is, as horrible or as pathetic as it is, I just need that closure. So
you don't want a cliffhanger. Nobody loves a cliffhanger.
Yeah, and it's just annoying, and I think it's annoying that you don't see anything like this in the gaming community. You always have an answer, usually within that 24 hours when something like this happens, and the fact that we're going on pushing 6 days because we're not going to hear anything at friggin' midnight.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
Tomorrow will be day 6 that DrDisrespect has been banned, and nobody seemingly knows why.
Yeah.
So
that's rough.
Yeah.
Super rough.
But yeah, so the gaming world is just crazy right now.
It's crumbling.
Never been so much info like this. There's been some other things that aren't as big, but yeah. So who knows? By Friday we might have some answers on Ninja, Shroud, and DrDisrespect.
I think they gotta do something soon, right? They're gonna have to say something.
I mean, I kind of thought that after 24 hours, dude. Like I'm not kidding when I say this type of stuff happens with people all the time in this industry, and it's what the reason is almost instantly or within hours after. Never does it take 5 days, especially with someone as big as it. Like this guy literally is the Steph Curry of streaming. Like he is one of the top 5 biggest streamers today, and it just like he fucking disappeared. It's just conspiracy theory city right now, dude.
Yeah, no, it's gotta be eating people alive, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely one of them. I'm not like thinking about it all day, but I will admit I've checked my Twitter and written stuff on Twitter more in the past 5 days than I probably have in the past year combined. So
I can see that.
Yeah. But we'll wait and see. And if we get an update, we'll call it out next week. But we have some sports stuff to talk about too. So I know you got something that's been itching at you that you want to talk about in a sport that we normally don't talk about.
Well, I mean, there's milestones that happen in many sports, and this one particular is a rare one. And this is in soccer or football to the rest of the world, but not football here in America. This is the football that you actually play with your feet, soccer.
Football.
So I mean, most notably, what I'm addressing is Lionel Messi, who plays for Barcelona and the Argentinian national team, scored his 700th goal, which is one of the most prestigious clubs in all of the sport. Only 6 other people. There's 7 people total in that club, and 2 of them are current active players, and that's Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, who are the 2 biggest names in global soccer.
I didn't know Ronaldo had 700 too.
Yeah, I mean these two guys are kids who started playing professionally at 17, so they started getting their stats started developing
Very early.
at such an early age, and you can imagine they're in their early 30s now,
Yeah.
going strong, and they're just tallying up the marks now. The one thing the only thing I really want to discuss about this, and it kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know, I might be in the minority of this, but I follow a lot of different sports, okay, and there's a lot of different milestones in many different sports, and they're very prestigious in their own arenas for many different reasons, and they're very hard to achieve, and it takes people years and years and years and years and whatnot. But the one thing that gets me about the goals statistic is his 700 goals includes goals that he scored off of penalty kicks. And for me, that's like saying Steph Curry's never going to take a free throw from the 3-point line for 3 points, and it goes towards his 3 points made statistic.
Well, I think even in general, like your shots are separate from your free throws, like shots in general, right? So even if it's like overall scoring record or whatever, it doesn't account for free throws.
No, I mean in basketball, but I mean basketball you could argue though that like points you're scoring from the free throw line still count as points. And they still count on your total points, and they still count on your total points of that game and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. But in soccer, you're talking about a sport that might score 1 goal a game or 2 or 3. Like on average, is very low scoring, 3 or under goals, and one of those can come as a penalty kick, and that's a big momentum swing. It's not like one free throw changes a game in the second quarter the way a penalty kick could in the 44th minute of the first half. It's just it's insane the difference. And and you look at baseball, and it's almost like Barry Bonds is hitting over 700 home runs, and he's in a league of his own, being at the top, but he's never got something as easy as a penalty kick. He's never got.
You almost feel like that's like counting his home runs in the home run derby. I know like people could argue extra innings, but the difference is the game doesn't change in extra innings.
Yeah, the game's not over.
Yeah, it has
the same thing as if in soccer, if they played extra time until the game was actually decided instead of ending in a draw.
Yeah.
Like they do half the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, man. I don't know if I really am on board with that either.
Or I think about it in baseball, it's like, I mean, I don't think there's really a comparison the way baseball is played, because it's like every pitcher is trying to strike a guy out. Every pitcher is, trying, and especially if you're a known home run slugger, like you're not even getting pitched to in a way that like you really can hit the ball out. Like they're trying to pitch down and away, or like whatever it is that's the scouting report on you that this guy doesn't like these pitches and he's probably not going to swing, or even if he does get a hold of it, he's going to ground it out hopefully, and he won't hit one out of the park. And so it's like to me it's like the penalty kick is almost as like, you know what, we're going to take a flyer on this one. We don't think you're going to hit it out, so we're just going to put this on the tee and take our chance. And it's not, you can't really do that. You know?
That's a tough one, man. I think the only thing that I can argue it is the fact that it is contested, because you are going against the goalie, but you are going against a different. You know what I want to know? What I want to look up when we're done are the what are they called at the end of a hockey game if it's tied and they go the shootout? Do those count towards your overall goal record? That's something I want to look up.
That I can't confirm right now, but
that's almost the same thing in a sense.
Yeah. It is very similar, but I mean, because think about it, the rules of a penalty kick are, because I was even trying to see like, okay, like does the person who get fouled have to take the shot? No, they don't. So it's like he could even be the.
I didn't know that. So he could take the kick for someone else.
Exactly. So it's like,
okay, yeah. Now I'm not on board.
It wasn't even an in-game play that you were involved with, but because you're the number one dude on the team, we want you to take a
Yeah, okay.
The only rule with PKs is the person taking the kick has to be clearly defined to the referee and the keeper. So it's like, so you can't have a situation where you got three guys standing next to each other.
Someone's gonna
you
come.
don't know which one's gonna run up and take the kick.
Yeah.
So it has to be clearly defined. But at the same time, there's other rules like the keeper can't touch a post before the ball is kicked, and he has to have his heels at least on the line. So it's like he can't come out to like, you know, take an angle off or anything like that. So that's why you always see like basically the keeper in their mind is trying to like read your mind and pick which side he thinks you're gonna hit on. So all the time you see him like jump to one side and the guy kicks it to the other side. I mean, because you don't, as a keeper, it's like the world's worst thing that you can possibly try to block.
You gotta kind of just take a chance and hope you pick the right side and.
If you block a penalty kick as a keeper, it's the guy kicking it screwed up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what it is.
Oh yeah, the goals are huge, dude. Like there's no way. Like I've seen enough soccer to understand that they literally they got a 50-50 chance, or they have to jump to one side, and then if they pick the right side within that motion, try to maneuver to block the ball.
Oh, I know. I mean, I played high school soccer with this guy. He was incredible to the point where. Like, he wouldn't even take a running start up to the ball. Like, he would just put his left foot right next to the ball and plant it there. And he would stare at the guy in the goal. And then, like, halfway through the time he was staring at the guy in the goal, his eyes would go to the left. And then he would stare back at the guy in the goal. So the goalie would jump to his right, which was, you know, this guy's left. Yeah. And the minute he would do that, he would just, like, kick the ball super slow to the right side. And it would go in every time.
Oh,
you know?
What a dick.
It's like he basically played the goalie. Yeah. Like you just got played so hard, you know? Like, and that's the game. And it's like, so my own thing about this is like the guy scored like 90 something goals on penalty kicks. So it's like, if you want to take him away, it's like he's still pretty far away from 700. And it's like scoring a goal in game during live action is so much more difficult and so much more rare. And he's scored over 600 of those. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment in and of itself.
Yeah.
And I get it; it's part of the game. You're still gonna count the penalty kick as a goal towards the score at the end of the game. So I get it; it's part of it. But I think it should just have a little asterisk by it. That's my only thing, because it's so much different than you receiving a pass at full speed and you got to beat a guy and you got to make a split-second decision to take that shot, and you got a much different angle from wherever you are on the field at this point than you are sitting 12 yards away with the entire goal just like staring at you, ready to receive you, you know? Yeah. So it's just so much different, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting.
But
either way, congrats to him though.
I mean, it's again, it is
7. You said was it
milestone? 7 people in the entire history of.
That's pretty epic, like, man.
You know, professional soccer.
Yeah, soccer is a big deal everywhere.
It's been around for so long, you know, and
that's a bigger trait than the home run record, because it's I feel like we're like the bubble when it comes to soccer. I've actually just started getting into soccer a little bit because it is kind of we have the Timbers are a major league team here in Portland. So this is the first place I've been that has an actual major league soccer team. I haven't been to a game yet, but it's made me interested in it.
The Earthquakes down here, you know.
Are they major leagues though?
Yeah.
Really?
In the same league as
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I think it's overshadowed by the other sports. Where in Portland, like there's that in the Trailblazers, you know.
Right. So, yeah. They don't have a lot of professional teams.
They don't have 2 football teams, 2 baseball teams, a hockey team. Well, I mean, I guess 1 football team now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oops. Sorry, Raider fans.
Those Raiders are sweating pretty good right now in Las Vegas.
Sure. Oh yeah, man. It's gonna be an interesting year for them.
But I mean, speaking of football, I mean, free agency is still going wild, and it's amazing to me the amount of quality names that are still on the market and unsigned. And I was hoping we were going to get to this last week, but Cam Newton was recently signed between our last episode and this one.
Yep.
And
I want to vouch for you because we talked about it before last week. So I am in support of the fact that the deal he signed is basically exactly what you thought would have been the deal. So I know we don't have proof of that beforehand, but as your partner in this and as your witness, I will vouch for the fact that you knew what the design was going to be before it came to be.
Yeah, I mean, I on the one hand, it's like it went as expected. The only thing that they haven't released any of the details in terms of what these incentives are, which I'm really interested to see. And those are the things too that I always wonder, like how a team is going to play these players with these heavily incentive-laden contracts, where it's like, if you as the team know that, okay, well, this person is going to make X amount of dollars if they do this, well, then should I wait until after this point and then we can, let's say it's like, oh, he needs, if he starts 10 games, he'll get a certain number of things, right? So what if, let's say Belichick decides to start the season with Jared Stidham, okay?
Yeah.
Well, does that mean that he's going to give him 6 or 7 weeks and then Cam Newton's only going to start 9 weeks, and so he doesn't hit that 10-week mark to where they don't have to pay him the incentive thing, But then it's like, okay, and then but if what's his face gets hurt in week 3, then you're beyond that, and then now you just have to pay him anyway.
Yeah.
So I always wonder, like, is it so much about the football, or how much is it about the money? Because on the money side of things, it's like, here you are, you're giving the guy the league minimum, veteran minimum, which is like $1.7 million as a base salary. This guy went from a $25 million base salary last year to 1.7.
Yeah, it's a huge slap in the face to Cam Newton.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he accepted it, to be honest. But
he made like over 120 million already in the league, which, I mean, he's got plenty of money at home, but I mean, there's backup quarterbacks on other teams that are making more money than him, like way more. I was reading something that I think it's the Chicago Bears backup quarterback that's making, like, if Cam Newton and Jameis Winston both hit 100% of their incentives that are built into their contracts, would not even surpass the total that the backup quarterback for the Chicago Bears is going to earn this year with 0 incentives.
Yeah, that's fascinating considering that the starting quarterback, I don't personally think is better than either of those,
Exactly,
Newton or Winston. I mean, maybe a little bit better at not throwing interceptions than Winston, but I still think overall, if you were holding a gun to my head, I would probably pick Winston over Trubisky.
Yeah, no doubt.
As my starting quarterback. So
for sure.
So the fact that these are two guys that are better than the starting quarterback on that team are getting paid less than his backup, that's alarming.
Well, the other interesting part about the Cam Newton saga is this. It's like, okay, Jameis Winston basically is not welcome in Tampa any longer and signs a very similar 1-year vet minimum contract to sign on with the Saints. And at the time he did this, it looks like a good thing for Jameis Winston because here he is. You got your career is almost going on a downward trajectory with the amount of interceptions you've had and whatnot. And people really think that this will be beneficial for him to just sit behind Drew Brees for a year, really learn as an apprentice, because as a former number 1 overall pick coming to the Bucs at the time that he did, it's like you're coming to a bad team. A lot of these former number 1 overall picks, they go to a terrible team and they're thrown into a situation where they have to be this savior right off the bat, and they never really get to sit back and learn.
It's what I'm starting to call the traditional Alex Smith series. Right.
Yeah. I mean, Baker Mayfield's going up against it right now. Yeah. I mean, there's been countless number of, basically insert first round draft pick quarterback name here has probably gone through it. And my point about the Jameis Winston stuff, it's like this might really work out for him. I mean, if Drew Brees retires in a couple of years, maybe he's the future of the Saints, or anyway he pops somewhere else and he's learned a big bag of tricks and how to be a pro from Drew Brees, from Sean Payton, from a lot of other guys, right?
And he's got a lot of years left. He's still very young.
Yeah, but the thing about Cam Newton is that here you got another number 1 overall draft pick, former MVP, played in a Super Bowl. And he just got signed for the exact same contract as Jameis Winston. Now, there's a few more incentives there, and I think it's also because he's probably going to be the day 1 starter rather than Jameis Winston is known to be the backup throughout the year.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit different there. That's why there's a little bit heavier incentive there. But
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, so you just signed somebody who you intend to probably start as your quarterback, and you just got him for a steal. It's like I would have thought that the base salary just would have been a little bit higher. You can still build in the incentives, but my point is that Cam Newton's contract, even if it's incentive laden, should be equivalent to at least somebody. I know the average. So when they do this franchise tag, it's the average of the top 5 salaries of that position of the year.
Yeah.
So like Dak Prescott, the franchise tag is worth $31 million.
Yeah.
Because I think there's quarterbacks upwards to 40 right now on a year.
Yeah.
And then how the way it averages out. But like for example, Phillip Rivers is getting 25 mil 1 year in Indy. So my point with that is it's like, so you telling me that Cam Newton's not worth 25 mil? Maybe structure it so his base salary plus every incentive could equal a total of 25 mil, which is equal to, a respectable known starter in the league.
And isn't it designed where we just know that with the incentives and everything, it's like just under 8. The most you can make is just under 8 million, right?
Yeah, it's about 7, 8, 7, 9
That's
mil.
crazy, dude.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Cam Newton. I'm not a fan of his attitude. But the dude, when he's I feel like the reason I'm not a fan of Cam Newton is because he's given up. He's visibly shown that he's given up at times. Yeah. But when when the dude is playing at the peak, he is one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
He can throw. He's a version of Colin Kaepernick that could throw at variable speeds.
Yeah, they're very similar. They're very similar specimens. And I definitely, that brings me to another free agent. I mean, things are certainly heating up for Cap, and I hope that just for the NFL's sake, his sake, it'd be a great story for the country. Yeah. That he gets on with the team, and I hope it's about football and not somebody trying to get a lot of attention for bringing a guy like him in.
Yeah.
And there's still a ton of teams who can utilize it. Even highlighting this useless backup quarterback for the Chicago Bears, Kaepernick would be a better fit than anyone in that quarterback room.
Kaepernick would be. Kaepernick would realistically be one of, if not the best backup quarterbacks on any team.
Well, I have a theory of I would really, really, really like to see Kaepernick get signed to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and here's why. They have a black head coach as one of the only ones, and aside from the Los Angeles Chargers, to name another, but Mike Tomlin is very well respected. He's been here, quite a long time, and he's been pretty public with the Black Lives Matter movement and in support of it.
He's a player's coach too.
Yeah, and I think that people love playing for him, and I think he can get a lot out of people. And I think that he would. I think he has the personality type that can certainly manage the Kaepernick situation, and I definitely think that Big Ben's time there is certainly limited, and I don't even know if a full season is what he's capable of anymore. And so having yourself with a very, very capable backup like this would be incredible for him, and I'm not positive, but I think there might be some assistant coaches now that are on the Steelers that may have had some previous history with Kaepernick, so that might be a little correlation there as well. But
it's time. He's been out of the league long enough. He's been punished for nothing long enough. I've always argued that, like we've talked about before, like I might not be a Kaepernick fan, mainly towards his personality and how he was as a 49er, being a huge 49er fan. Never had anything to do with his skill set. Do I think he could be a starter? I think there are teams that he could be a starter. Do I think he's a top tier starter? No. But I know for damn sure he's worthy of being a backup.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way: he's not going to be a top tier starter for a coach like Jim Tomsula, but he could be a top tier starter for the right coach in the right system, and that's why I really like the Steelers for that. But the other thing you got to think about is, after 2016, going back to 2017 and 2018, when Kaepernick was really starting to push himself into the market. One of the things I kept hearing was that his asking price was too high.
Yeah.
And that he, saw himself as a starter. Well, it's like the guy's 3 years removed now, or maybe it's 4. I can never really remember.
I think it's going on 4.
I think this might be the 4th year if he doesn't make it in. But anyway, yeah. So where I'm going with this is like we just talked about contracts like Cam Newton and things like this. It's like you got to be looking at that right now and be like, there's no way that Kaepernick should be getting paid more than Cam Newton.
No.
I mean, Cam Newton hasn't missed any time.
No, he'd have to sign the same contract. He'd have to sign a veteran
or lower
contract.
Like that's the bar right now, and Kaepernick's value is not higher than that bar.
I feel like Kaepernick is in a situation where whatever comes out of it with him, it's a win. If he signs for the bare minimum as a backup, never plays a snap, it's a win because he got back in the NFL. He proved the NFL wrong.
Yeah.
If he signs a bare minimum contract and ends up starting and does bad, still same conclusion. If he signs the bare minimum contract, starts and does good and gets a bigger contract, then he becomes the martyr.
Yeah, and just to be clear, like I'm not suggesting that he should be getting lower than Cam Newton, or anything because these guys are black or anything like that.
No.
I know Richard Sherman came out, and the reason we bring up the Chicago Bears backup quarterback is because you add up Jameis Winston and Cam Newton's contracts, and they don't equal this guy. And these are 2 black guys who are 2 number 1 overall picks, who both of them should be starters in the league on some team. And you have a backup guy who's making more than them, and he's white.
Yeah.
And so I'm also not saying that, okay, if you look at that rationale, you should say, oh, well, he's a backup. Kaepernick should get his backup money. Well, yeah, on one hand, maybe that's true. But on the same time, I look at it from a guy who's contributed to the league and should be a starter. And what the league has determined his value right now is this, which we all can disagree with it, but the reality of the situation is somebody convinced him of that, and he signed for it because he wants to play. And if Kaepernick wants to get his foot in the door, he's going to have to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, no, I got that, and I think anyone listening would understand that. It's being out of any sport or anything in general for 3 years is a long time. Dude, I worked with you in a parks department, just about 3 years ago. If I went back to that, I'd probably have to be reminded on quite a few things. So
yes, you would.
Like that's just human nature. Like I don't even remember what I was doing yesterday, 3 years ago. I mean, and of course he's been training and stuff, but there's a difference between training and preparing for something and actually doing that thing.
Yeah.
No, I feel like if at the most he should probably be being signed for the same as Newton and Winston, if not something less. But
and I think that a lot of these contracts, especially for these big name guys, and I say big name because that means other names like Jadeveon Clowney are out there and Eric Reed and whatnot. And it's like, I feel like these are guys who have a lot of personality. They do a lot of extracurricular things, whether it's good or bad, or good publicity or bad publicity in the eyes of that organization, or whatever you want to slice it. But you can't deny the talent on the field, and I feel like so many of these teams may be hesitant to go after these players for those extra reasons. But the way around it is these new incentive-based contracts, and it's like even a guy like Clowney, it's like you got to realize at some point camp starts in less than 30 days.
Yeah,
and you're not a part of a team yet, and if you want to make money and be a part of the team, exactly, and you want to play and you want to prove to people that you are worth that contract, so at some point you've got to bet on yourself, and you've got to say, okay, well, I want it up here, I'll settle for here, but let's make sure that I can get here if I'm able to hit X, Y, and Z throughout the year. And at some points, I mean, you've seen how many people sign big deals and never live up to the deal. So on the one hand, it's like, okay, maybe you sign a little bit less, but you've got the motivation still that you need to get that little bit extra and get over the top, and then continuously prove to people that you should be getting this. And then by the time you do it once or twice, there's not even from the shadow of a doubt that anyone's gonna like question that once again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and people like Josh Gordon too. I mean, especially when you've given so many second chances, you're still a free agent, and you're still under 30 years old. I definitely think he could still play. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. The league is not even really testing for marijuana anymore, so that's a good thing. But you got to remember the past that continues to follow you. However people want to paint that in whatever light, it's there, and they can say what they want about it and devalue you for it. So what you have to do is come back with the incentives that say, I understand that and you can pay me that, but I'm trying to tell you that I'm this over here. And if you don't believe me, just let me prove it to you. And if I prove it to you, you make sure you pay me.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh Gordon's a unique one. My thought on Josh Gordon is, first off, I know we've both mentioned it in passing here and there, but we're not anti-marijuana at all. I could care less about marijuana.
No,
I really legitimately could care less about marijuana. The problem with Josh Gordon,
I think it's safe to say it's not a performance-enhancing drug either.
Oh God, dude! I mean, back in the day when I used to smoke, I would smoke to chill.
I don't know, but
I couldn't imagine smoke. Like, I used to work with a guy at a glass company, a shower door company, where we would pump like 100-pound pieces of glass all day long. This dude would take freaking vape bong load things, whatever, in the morning, and then come to work.
Oh, wow.
And pump glass. Dude, it's like, are you what? Dude, when I smoked weed, I'd fall asleep, bro. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand how people can function. Like, no, it's definitely not a performance enhance, and it didn't enhance his performance. He just had severe ADD, and it kind of mellowed him out. But but this is the thing with Josh Gordon is it's not about the marijuana with him. It's the character trait of he can't follow direction.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he deserves a 15th chance. I really do. Because the guy is good, and that's really only been the only issue with him.
Right. I mean, he hasn't
marijuana.
He hasn't but he also has, and even if it's the direction thing, it's like it's not like he's had this huge, incident of misconduct or domestic violence outside of this.
The marijuana.
Exactly. It's like he's tested positive, and okay, maybe the guy's a little late to a few meetings. It's like, let's get on the buddy system. We're gonna sign another wide receiver to make sure that they're basically handcuffed together, and you don't let them out of your sight.
You just had a light bulb go off in my head. That's something that I want to talk about, but probably another episode is you mentioned the buddy system. That's something that's always bothered me at the NFL is we've had all these issues with these players and stuff. It's like this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. How can they not get these players under control?
Yeah,
if you like Alden Smith will always be one. Like Alden Smith, literally, man, and not just because I'm a Niner fan. Just in overall, Alden Smith had the talent to be the best linebacker in the history of the sport. The dude was a legend, and we got to see a little taste.
Could have been a Hall of Famer. Could have broke some records.
Yeah, I mean,
could have been a fan favorite. All those things, and he just couldn't stay out of his own way.
And it's like, I mean, at what point does the team step in there and be like, "Look, this guy's good enough. We need to just have someone walk with him, handcuffed to him." 24/7. We'll pay.
You just literally need to pay a guy to basically be his.
You're already paying this guy X amount of millions. Yeah. Pay a dude $350,000 a year to just babysit him 24/7. I guarantee you there are people out there that would gobble that job up.
Fuck, I'd do it.
Yeah,
I'll drive him anywhere he wants to go.
You're telling me I gotta just hang out with this dude 24/7 for 300. Let's drop it $200,000 a year. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Like I don't get it, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna eat good. I mean, you're gonna eat whatever he eats.
Yeah.
You're gonna drive his car because he's not gonna drive it.
Yeah, because he's gonna be wasted.
Yeah, I mean, it's like.
I'm sorry, that was rude, but
Well, I mean, that's the reason why we're hanging out with him, right?
Yeah, like you're basically telling me you're gonna pay me $200,000 a year. I'm gonna get to go to Niner games for free, or you know, all football games for free. I'm gonna get to kick it with some cool ass dudes. I'm gonna get to drive a badass car because the dude I'm driving is gonna be shit faced, and he shouldn't be driving the car.
Yeah.
So I get all these incentives and $200,000.
Yeah.
Sign me up. And you know what? $200,000 is freaking pennies to any NFL team.
Did you see
to protect a player that will literally be one of the most dominating players in the sport?
Yeah, it's a wise investment. Change. You know, it's a wise investment and because
I get the argument of, well, he needs to be an adult, but we're talking about the business side of the NFL, which don't give a shit about anything.
But if you know that somebody can't be an adult, but they can be a force on the field on Sundays, well, you'll find a way to deal with it. And one of those ways of dealing with it is what we just described, you know?
And that's what I'm saying. Is like the people will look at that statement that I just said and be like, well, he needs to be an adult. But the NFL looks at it as value, money. Yeah. If we can keep this guy under control, he's a force. He gets us to win. He gets us a Super Bowl. Look at all that bonus money. If you keep a guy on, Aldon Smith was a game changer to a point where he could be the person that was the difference between you winning and losing the NFL, the Super Bowl. And that bonus money that a team gets, the players get, and all that from winning a Super Bowl, will pay for that dude that had to walk around handcuffed to him 10 times over.
Or maybe you can pay for 2 or 3 dudes.
Yeah. So I'll never. We should probably talk about that more.
Did you see the movie, Tarantino's movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, I haven't watched that yet. I need to.
So it's a similar situation where it's like if Brad Pitt. Or in this situation, Leonardo DiCaprio is Aldon Smith, and Brad Pitt is the guy that, you know, the Niners needed to put around. You know, watch the movie. Watch the movie.
No, I've been wanting to watch that one. I have been.
Free agency world is just never ceases to amaze, man. But I know, I mean, the bad thing with Cam and his situation was he was coming off an injury, and there was a lot of people worried about, are they going to be able to evaluate him? Are they going to be able to get their doctor's hands on him and this and that? But it's like, you see the guy training, dude. And
well, he's one of those, there's those unique players in every sport. Football has the most of them where they're just a different breed of person. Adrian Peterson is the person that you can look at for that diagram. The guy obliterated his ACL and came back and damn near set the freaking rushing yard record.
Yeah, and won an MVP on it.
Yeah,
you know,
like the NFL just has those players. Cam Newton is one of those people. He's a freak of nature. He's not normal. He defies the law of physics.
Right. To
the point where I get that you might not be able to evaluate him, but you have enough intel on him to know that it's worth the gamble of giving him the money. Sure. You've gambled on people way less valuable than him.
And the system that you know that he just stepped into, I mean, like Cam Newton's going to have a hell of a year.
If he can listen and follow direction.
I'm sure at one point Cam Newton's saying to himself that, like, I will take the veteran minimum because I understand what I just stepped into. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna fight for more money, and then maybe you don't take a flyer on me because I think me being with that Patriots organization, and I want to feel what it's like to be with Belichick because, I mean, think about what Belichick and his offense could do in a situation where it's like Tom Brady was great, but Tom Brady is not a mobile quarterback.
No.
Think about all the options that you have now.
Yeah, and the other thing to think about is even though this is probably not something that goes through Belichick's mind, but in the world's eyes, this is a defining year for Belichick, because this is the year he can show that the entire time it was all him.
Right,
He was
exactly.
like, he
If he
can really, this
resurrects
year,
Cam's
he can
career,
cement
you know?
the fact that the Patriots were the team they were because of him.
Yeah.
And it's the same for Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the same way. Whatever he does in Tampa can be his little stamp, where he can stamp and say, look, all that success in New England wasn't just because of Belichick. It was because I mean, no one's gonna ever question.
It's because of me and Gronk. Because see, Gronk's here with me too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But no one's ever gonna question. No person with an actual brain in their head's gonna question the skill of Tom Brady. But this year is such a defining moment for both of them. If they both make playoffs, they basically put the stamp in the history books. Like, look, we were great players. We just were excellent together, but it was because we were great individually. Because the story will always be up until this year that one needed the other. So this is the year that they can prove that gossip wrong.
But at the same time, it's like Brady won plenty before Gronk too.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
yeah. No, I'm talking Belichick and Brady.
Oh yeah.
Gronk is just that nice little shiny extra incentive
little
that you
toy.
have. Yeah.
Nice little shiny Porsche in the driveway.
He's one of those guys, when everything's going bad, you just close your eyes and you throw it up, and you know you're gonna be all right. But no, he did amazing stuff before Gronk. So and he did shit after Gronk. So
for sure.
Gronk just made his job easier.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, free agency's been nuts though. I feel like the last few years it's just gotten crazier and crazier too. Mainly with football. Just the names that have been moving and shuffling around, and it's been
well.
wild.
I just like, I was hoping too with the whole CBA that they were gonna get away from the whole franchise tag. That really bothers me. I really wish that they never created this. I mean, it's the only sport that has this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's really ridiculous because it gives the athlete in this situation almost no power. It's like, yeah, they're going to get paid top dollar for this 1 year, but it gives them no long-term security, and it gives them no ability to test the market elsewhere. It's like, oh, you're telling me I can't be a free agent, but I have to play with you only for a 1-year deal. You know, and that's it. And if I don't sign, then I can't play.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, I feel like the franchise tag should be an offer, but they should still be able to test the market.
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe it should be like almost like the restricted free agent market, where it's like you can get an offer, and if the team wants to match it,
yeah.
You know, it's like I feel like they should be able to do that, because you're going to see more and more guys sit out, and I'm surprised that Dak Prescott. I mean, at least to this point, I think he signed his agreement, so he's not going to sit out.
I think he did.
But I mean, you saw it happen with Le'Veon Bell. You saw it happen with Trent Williams. I mean, it's going to happen again. And then these are the guys who feel like their value and their worth is so much greater than what the organization values them as. And they don't want to sign for 1 year, take the risk of blowing out a knee for a career-ending injury, and then, we signed you for a 1-year deal. We don't have to do anything with you anymore. You know? And so it's just like, that's what's really, really sad about the whole franchise tag thing, that I really thought that they were going to handle that as part of the CBA, but I didn't really hear anything about that, you know, and it's a problem that needs to go away. It might have been
something that just was put on the back burner because of all the COVID stuff. So
yeah.
You brought up Le'Veon Bell, and you made me think, what do you think about Brown working out with Russell Wilson? Kind of interesting. I know it doesn't say much, but it kind of does a little bit.
Well,
too.
I mean, you're definitely going to have that workout before you end up signing the guy, and before, I'm sure, Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson go into a room and talk about it, all that kind of stuff. Now, I mean, sure, they should definitely kick the tires on the guy, and who knows if they're doing it because they don't want us to do it down here in Ninerville, but
I don't think the Niners would do it, though. The Niners have a certain person that they look for, and he just doesn't fit the bill here.
Yeah. The Niners have been, since Kyle Shanahan took over, they have been all about culture, and they're not going to. I don't think they're going to risk that for a guy like Antonio Brown at
And
this point.
we have enough wide receivers right now that I don't really
Yeah.
see the reason for it.
And and like you said, they look for a certain type of guy, and every single one of their wide receivers they have fits who they want. And for the style of play that we have, I'm excited about every single one of them, and I don't really feel like we need a guy like Antonio Brown to complete that any longer.
I agree. I will say the thought of Antonio Brown and Russell Wilson together is lethal.
It is, man. It's something that the Niner fans need to be scared about if it's going to be a possibility.
Yeah. That's definitely that is a dangerous combo, man.
So
we'll
I mean,
because Wilson has the bomb, he has the long ball, and I mean, Brown is one of the fastest dudes in the league.
My thing is if that happens, if Seattle signs Antonio Brown, then I think the counter move to that needs to be for the Niners that you gotta figure out the trade for Jamal Adams. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because I think Richard Sherman can guard Antonio Brown, but I don't think he's gonna be able to guard him like he used to.
I don't think he can anymore.
You're gonna need that. I think he can guard him from 0 to 15 yards, but deep, you're gonna need that.
He's gonna get burnt. Yeah,
you're gonna need the help from the safety. Like he can play.
That's
he can play press.
Sherman either. Most people will get burnt anywhere past 15.
Yeah. So my thing is like the hooks, the curls, the flat, like underneath. I think he can handle it. But Antonio's been a deep threat most of his career, and that's where you're gonna need that help from the safety.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like you might as well, seal the deal with getting a top tier. What do they call him out there? The I don't know, the guy a little roaming around. I don't know. There's a name for it. I forget.
You're talking about the deep safety?
Yeah. No, there's it's like a. Anyway, I'll think of it. I think it's kind of like a little nickname for kind of like people just sort of like poaching out there and stealing the ball in there.
I know what you're talking about. I'm not gonna think of it either though. We're getting to that point though. I'm sitting here yawning. You're forgetting words. I think we're about that at that time. So
I know, dude. I know.
This is the dad life, dude. Me and you being up at what time is it? Almost 11 p.m. Having kids. It hurts. It hurts the brain.
For sure. But I am excited for football. I'm excited to see some stuff start up here at the end of the month. I know they're shortening the preseason, which not a bad thing.
No, I've been in support of that for a while, anyways, man. We lose so many valuable players in preseason. It's like Jesus, man. Look at like one of the big ones that I always remember is Jordy Nelson. Nelson was going into a season where he looked like he was going to blow up and take him out in preseason, and he's been a ghost ever since. Is he even in the league anymore?
He retired.
He did finally retire? Okay.
Yeah.
See, he was set up to have another good year that year, and nothing after that, man. Then dropped, picked up by the shit Raiders. Sorry, Las Vegas fans. I'm sorry. I'm not a Raider hater, dude. I just they haven't been good, and he couldn't do anything there. And then he went somewhere after the Raiders, didn't he? Or no? Was that it?
No, he just did the 1 year at the Raiders, and then
that was it.
He retired as a Packer.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah. The preseason. I mean, I get it because that's where you can really kind of make sure that you're cutting the right guys and keeping the right guys, but it can really hurt your big time players too. And it has for years. So I've been on board for the shortened preseason for a while.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing. I mean, obviously they wanted to do it at a time where they would get, 2 more regular season games, which I think they're going to get 1 next year, up to 17 games. So it's on that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like a game or 2 extra wouldn't hurt. It would help kind of define, because the thing with football is you have that one bad game and it can really ruin your season. Where every other sport you have all these chances to go hot and kind of adjust things on the fly, adapt. Where football you kind of don't, man. You're so limited. you have 1 or 2 off games and it can really affect your positioning in playoffs, or even if you get in the playoffs. So
Exactly.
baseball is always notorious. Like those first 2 weeks, there's such a shit show. The team's figuring out each other. They're getting in their groove. It's like you have those first 2-3 games off in football, and then you get it together. It's really hard to get back up to the top. You're kind of chasing the rest of the season. So
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
mean, but
I
football
think
is it's just so taxing on the
yeah,
body.
and that's the
Yeah.
other side of it is, a couple
Injury
games would
factor.
give you a couple extra games would give you a better chance at getting, you know, dialed in with your team and really becoming the team you're supposed to be, but it also adds so much more room for injury that can dismantle a team. So
Yeah, I mean, I was always at the camp where there's always so much talk about growth and oh, how can we grow the sport and how can we do this and that? It's like, there's 32 teams. That means there's only 32 cities. There's 32 markets. Okay, we've gotten into neutral site games like London and Mexico and all these other places. Well, it's like, well, if everyone's adding a game, now you're going to have, especially at the 17 games this season, you're going to have an odd number. You're going to have either more away games or more home games or vice versa. So everybody needs a neutral site game. And maybe it's not always in London or Mexico. Maybe it's other countries,
or in
or
other
maybe it's
cities.
other states that don't have pro football.
Yeah.
Like maybe you play a game in Montana, or
Yeah.
you play a game in
San Antonio.
yeah, something like that. But
Yeah.
somewhere or in Oregon somewhere that they don't have a team.
I guess San
but
Antonio is a bad example because they have
they have 2 teams.
Yeah. I was just thinking like basketball teams.
Right.
But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could be just that. Though, like I said, Montana, or you go up to the Dakotas, or you're up in
I'd be stoked if they had a football game show up here. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
They could play it in the Timbers Stadium.
Yep. So I mean, there's possibilities are endless. It's just all about how they're going to make money, and especially with the loss of revenue this year, they're just gonna try to find more ways to make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's wrap it. So we got some updates hopefully coming up that we'll touch on next week if we get anything from the gaming community and all that craziness, the sports stuff. We're keeping close eyes on the free agents, what's going to happen with Kaepernick, if anything, things like that. So, but yeah, I'm tired, man. Busy week.
Yeah. Episode 4, we're grinding for sure. Happy 4th of July to everybody out there. Be safe.
Make sure you're be smart, have fun.
Make sure you're not blowing off your fingers like Jason Pierre-Paul, and make sure that you are using legal, safe, and sane fireworks and following your local city and governmental ordinances, and doing so in a safe way. But have some fun. Eat a hot dog. Make sure you buy buns. Hot dogs are not good by themselves.
Yes, I always forget the buns, man. That's that. Thanks for calling me out. I appreciate it.
You gotta have a bun, dude.
All right, guys, that's it for us. As always, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe if you're feeling it. If not, then thanks for at least spending some time with us. And then if you're listening, we are on the platform that you're listening on, which is probably either Spotify, iTunes, Google, or Stitcher. And on that note, have a good week, and we'll see you in the next one.
Well, take care.
Peace.